In this lecture, we will discuss some problems related to convolution sum, and we will also discuss the basic equation of convolution sum in this particular lecture. And we will do two problems, and we will also verify the commutative property by using one question. See, convolution sum means it's actually used to find the output of a discrete time LTE system. Okay, remember one point, you can apply the convolution sum equation to find the output of the system. That is, we can find the output y of n of a discrete time LTI system. Okay, LTI system means which obey linearity property and time invariant property. And in order to find this output, one condition is that the system should be a discrete time LTI system. And second thing, uh, its impulse response h of n we require. Okay, so if you know the h of n, and if the system is discrete time LTI system, we can find the output y of n for any input x of n. So here x of n is the input, and h of n is known as the impulse response, and y of n is the output. So from the definition of convolution sum, we can write y of n is equal to x of n convolution h of n. This simple is actually used to represent the convolution operation, and this particular convolution operation in discrete time is defined by sigma k is equal to minus infinity to infinity. It's very important here. The variable is k, x of k into h of n minus k. Okay, so finally we'll get the result in y of n, but here the variable is x of k, or simply k. Okay, this is a basic equation, and this equation you can also write like this by using the commutative property, which is also equal to h of n convolution x of n. Okay, this is not multiplication, it's actually convolution operation. So we can write the h of n convolution x of n, both are same, because it's obeys the commutative property. We can also verify this, and if you use this equation, again it's k from minus infinity to infinity. We'll write h of k first, then x of n minus k. So both equation will lead to the same result, y of n. So either you can write x of n convolution h of n, or you can write h of n convolution x of n. And but when you evaluate, there is a slight difference. If you write x of n convolution h of n, it should be x of k into h of n minus k. If you write h of n convolution x of n, we can perform h of k into x of n minus k. Okay, in this particular format. Now we'll move to the problem. Here we need to compute the output y of n of a discrete time LTS system. So it is given that the system is discrete time LTS system, and the input x of n and impulse response h of n. Uh, there is a small mistake. It's not continuous. Actually, it's a discrete time system. It's a discrete time LTA system, and the x of n is given by u of n. Here the input is u of n, and the impulse response of the system is a raised to n into u of n. Okay, we need to find the y of n. So in order to calculate the output y of n, we can use the convolution sum equation. So by using this particular equation, we can write y of n is equal to uh, sigma k is equal to minus infinity to infinity. See, here we required x of k, but in question it is given x of n. So we can find out x of k by simply replacing n with k. So you'll get u of k into, in place of h of n minus k, uh, here it is given h of n. So in place of n, you can substitute n minus k. So you can write h of n minus k, that is actually a raised to n into u of n. So you can write a raised to n minus k into u of n minus k. Okay, because your x of k, it's simply u of k, U of k means it's a step signal. So we can write U of k is equal to 1 for k greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for k less than 0. So if you draw the waveform, it will be like this. This is very important here. The variable is k. So you know, write x-axis k, index k, and here it is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. And here it is -1, etc. So if k is greater than or equal to 0, the function magnitude is 1. So this is a signal u of k. And for negative value, it is 0. That is u of k. So now we got the step signal, and the non-zero magnitude is from 0 to infinity. Okay, so we don't want to evaluate the summation from minus infinity onwards, because the u of k signal is having non-zero magnitude from 0 onwards. Okay, 0 onwards and towards right. So we don't want to evaluate, it's from minus infinity onwards. Now we can try the next signal, that is h of n minus k. We required h of n minus k. H of n is given by a raised to n u of n. So in place of n, you can substitute n minus k. It becomes a raised to n minus k into u of n minus k. So if you observe this particular signal, there is a term called u of n minus k. So it's actually representing the step signal, a shifted version of the step signal. This is a shifted uh, step signal. So we can write which is equal to 1, similar to the step signal, which is equal to 1 for n minus k greater than or equal to 0, because here it is k, you will write k greater than equal to 0. Now it is n minus k, so you will write n minus k greater than 0. And it's very important here, we need to write in terms of k. So we'll keep this k in the left side, and I'll move n to the right side. But here we required in terms of k positive, but it is negative, so we need to make it positive. So we'll multiply with -1, so then it becomes k and n. So if you compare with the standard value, -2 is greater than -3, but if you multiply with -1, it becomes 2 and 3. Now we need to change the sign. So similarly, you can change the sign, so it becomes k less than or equal to n, and 0 for n minus k less than 0, and minus k less than minus n, or you can write k greater than n. Okay, now we got u of n minus k. So you can draw the u of n minus k signal. So u of n minus k, you can plot. See, here you can see that the function magnitude is 1 if k is less than or equal to n. So this is k, and we don't know the value of n. N can be positive or negative. So we can choose that n is positive in this particular example. So if k is less than or equal to n, from n onwards, less than means towards left. Okay. So the function magnitude is 1. So this is a signal u of n minus k. And for -1, -2, -3, etc. It is from minus infinity to 0. Okay, this is a point 0, not 0, up to n. The signal magnitude is 1. And for n greater than n, so if k is greater than n, the function magnitude is 0. If k greater than n. Now, if you observe these two signal, because we are using u of k and u of n minus k in this particular equation, u of k exists from 0 onwards, 0 to infinity, and the second signal u of n minus k exists minus infinity to 0, not minus infinity to 0, minus infinity to n. So if you observe these two signal, if you are multiplying these two signal, you can see that the resultant signal exists only from 0. The first signal starts from 0, and second signal ends at n. So we can limit our summation. You can change y of n is equal to sigma k ranging from 0 to n, because we don't want to find the summation from minus infinity, because the first signal starts only from 0. And the second signal u of n minus k, which is exists only up to n. So we can limit the summation up to n. And the first signal is 1 for this duration, and there is a term a raised to n minus k, and u of n minus k is equal to 1. Now, if you simplify this, it becomes k is equal to 0 to n a raised to n into a raised to minus k. And if you look at this particular expression, k is the variable, so you can consider n as a constant in this particular context. K is equal to 0 to n, and it's a raised to minus k, so you can write a raised to minus k becomes a raised to minus 1 the whole raised to k, so you can write 1 by a the whole raised to k. So the equation becomes 1 by a the whole raised to k. And this is a standard form, and you can substitute the result here. So this is a summation equation we can use. It's a finite 0 to n a raised to k. You can write 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a if you start from 0 onwards. So here also it start from 0. So we can write a raised to n 1 minus 1 by a the whole raised to here n plus 1 divided by 1 minus 1 by a. Okay, this is the equation. And one more thing, see, we already assumed that this n is considered as positive or n greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this equation is valid only when n greater than or equal to 0. But in this particular case, we don't know the value of n. If you consider n which is less than 0, for example, consider that n is negative. Okay, if n is negative and if k is less than or equal to n means towards left side. And if you observe, if n is equal to negative in the case of u of n minus k, and if you multiply, if n is equal to negative, and you can see that u of k starts from 0, but u of n minus k only is up to minus n, not up to 0. So if you multiply these two signals, you will get 0. So you need to write one more point, that is, if n less than 0, the function magnitude is 0. So we can write the final result like this: y of n is equal to a raised to n into 1 minus 1 by a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a. We can also simplify this. This a raised to n, you can write, if you multiply, for example, the denominator, you can write 1 minus 1 by a whole raised to n plus 1 divided by a minus 1 by a, and it becomes a raised to n into a, that you can write a raised to n plus 1 into 1 minus 1 by a the whole raised to n plus 1 divided by a minus 1. And if you multiply, it becomes a raised to n plus 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 divided by a raised to n plus 1 divided by a minus 1. So if you simplify this, it becomes a raised to n plus 1 minus 1 divided by a minus 1. So if you rearrange this, you will get, it becomes 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 divided by 1 minus, if you take minus common. So this is the final simplified form, n greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for n less than 0. Okay, so this is actually y of n. And you can write in one more form, that is, if there is a signal n greater than or equal to 0, means you can write in another form without writing the two limits. You can simply write 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 divided by 1 minus a into u of n. Okay, because u of n is a signal which exists for n greater than or equal to 0, and for n less than 0, it's 0. So either you can write by using the limit representation, or simply you can write u of n. So the final answer is 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a into u of n. Okay. So this is a question. This problem also you can approach in another way. That is a step response. So instead of calculating the direct convolution equation, you can also use the concept of step response that we will discuss later. Now we will discuss the second part of this particular question. That is, we need to verify the commutative property of convolution. That is, convolution is defined as y of n is equal to x of n convolution h of n. And commutative property states that the reverse is also same. That is x of n convolution h of n. That's also give the same result. Both are y of n. But the equation you need to write k is equal to minus infinity to infinity. If x of n, you'll write x of k. Here h of n is first. So you'll write x of h of k into x of n minus k. So we need to verify whether we are getting the same result. So here we required h of k. So we can write h of k is simply u of k. So we can write u of k, sorry, not u of k. H of n is a raised to n into u of n. So we can write a raised to k into u of k. So here again u of k is here. So u of k means it's 1 for k greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for k less than 0. So if you draw the waveform, it will be like this. At k is equal to 0, from 0 onwards, the function magnitude is 1. For negative values, minus 2, minus 1, it's 0. That is u of k. Now for the second signal, we need to write x of n minus k. X of n is u of n. So x of n minus k means you need to write u of n minus k. See, u of n minus k is equal to 1 for n minus k greater than or equal to 0, or minus k greater than or equal to minus n. And if you write in terms of k, it becomes k less than or equal to n. And 0 for, we already discussed all these things. So k greater than n. And if you draw the waveform, it will be like this, k. And if it is 0, if you take n as a positive quantity, you can mark n here. So at that time, the function is having non-zero magnitude for k less than or equal to n. So this is u of n minus k if n is positive. If n is negative, it will draw like this, 0. So some point here, if n is negative. Okay. So we'll get two conditions here. And from this expression, you can see that if n is negative, if you multiply the signal u of n minus k and the h of k, you will get 0, because the first signal starts from 0 onwards, and second signal magnitude is 0 from 0 onwards. So you'll get 0. And for other case, so the summation equation, you can write y of n is equal to sigma. You don't want to start from k is equal to minus infinity. You can start from k is equal to 0 onwards and maximum n. Okay, up to n, because the first signal starts from 0 onwards and the second signal is from minus infinity to n. So both signal exist from 0 to n. So you can write the first signal is a raised to k into 1, because a raised to k into u of k is equal to 1 in this particular limit, and the second signal u of n minus k is again 1 for this duration. So you will get k is equal to 0 to n a raised to k, and you can directly apply the result, which is 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a. So by using this summation equation, you can write the result. It's 1 minus a raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus a for n greater than or equal to 0, and 0 for n less than 0. So you can conclude y of n is equal to the same. So if you observe the previous result, so we'll get the same thing, 1 minus a raised to n plus by 1 minus a. So now we can verify the commutative property. Already we used x of n convolution h of n. We got the same result if you perform h of n convolution x of n. Okay. So most of the time you can use this technique, because if you take h of n, if you compare these two problems, in the first case, uh, you need to perform more simplification part. Okay. If you observe the second signal, it's comparatively steps, you can find the final answer by using reduced step. Okay, so you can take the complex signal first, then to find the n minus k form for a simplified signal. So if you compare this signal, u of n is simplified one and h of n is some complex signal. So by wisely choosing, you can simplify or you can reduce a step. Okay. So either you can perform x of n convolution h of n, or you can perform h of n convolution x of n. Both will give you the same result. Now we'll do one more problem in this format. So here we need to find the convolution between x of n and h of n. We need to find out the output y of n. So here, if you observe the formula, y of n is equal to x of n convolution h of n, which is given by k is equal to minus infinity to infinity. X of it's not x of n, it's x of k into h of n minus k. Okay. So in order to evaluate the formula, we required x of k, but it is given x of n. So you can write 2 raised to k into u of k, and here it is u of k. So we can write the definition of u of k. U of k is equal to 1 for k greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for k less than 0. So you will get a particular graph. It's 0 and the function magnitude is 1 for k greater than 0 and 0 for negative values. That is u of k. And if you take h of n minus k, because in formula we required h of n minus k. So we can write 1 by 3 in place of n. You can substitute n minus k. So it becomes 1 by 3 whole raised to n minus k into u of n minus k. And u of n minus k is a non-signal. That's a shifted version of the step signal. So you can write 1 for n minus k greater than or equal to 0, or minus k greater than or equal to minus n. Or if you rearrange this, you'll get k less than or equal to n. And you can write 0 for k greater than n. And if you drew the waveform, assume that n is positive. So you can mark n here. So it becomes a signal which exists from minus infinity to n. That is u of n minus k. And if n is negative, you need to mark n here. So now we can conclude, or we can substitute in the final equation, y of n is equal to sigma k will start from 0 onwards, because the first signal starts from 0 and the second signal is only up to n. Okay. So we can limit 0 to n, the summation operation. And the first signal is 2 raised to k into 1. And the second signal is 1 by 3, the whole raised to n minus k in this particular limit into 1. Okay, now if you simplify this, it becomes k is equal to 0 to n. You can write 2 raised to k, and if you split this 1 by 3 the whole raised to n into 1 by 3 the whole raised to minus k. Okay, again if you observe, k is a variable, so you can take 1 by 3 all raised to n outside. The remaining term you can write sigma k is equal to 0 to n 2 raised to k. This 1 by 3 you can write 1 by 3 the whole raised to minus 1 all raised to k. So it becomes 3. Okay, 1 by 3 all raised to minus 1 is 3 raised to k. So the final equation will be like this: 1 by 3 the whole raised to n sigma k is equal to 0 to n 2, and the second term is 3 the whole raised to k. So it becomes 1 by 3 all raised to n sigma k is equal to 0 to n 6 raised to k. And if you substitute the formula for a finite duration, you will get 1 by 3 the whole raised to n 1 minus 6 raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus 6. Okay, and this result is valid for n greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for n less than 0, because if n is negative and less than 0, if you multiply these two signal u of k and u of n minus k, you will not get any non-zero magnitude. All the values will be zero because the first signal from minus infinity to zero, it's zero, and for the second signal from zero to infinity, it is zero. And we'll get a non-zero magnitude only for n if n is positive. Okay, so this is the final answer. Either you can write in this way, or you can simply write 1 by 3 the whole raised to n into 1 minus 6 raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus 6 into u of n. So this is your final result. Thank you.